Let's head to Christchurch now, where the government's buyout of 9,000 of the worst quake-affected properties resulted in mass migration to Christchurch's fringes, the red zoning, of course. The shift has been most pronounced just south of the city at Rolleston. The once sleepy settlement has been transformed to a bustling satellite town thanks to its population surging by nearly half, 47%, since 2008. It's a rapid increase. As part of RNZ's election year series, Is This the Brighter Future? Colin Young talks to some of those people who have made the move about their new home.
In 2008, just 38,000 people called the Selwyn district, of which Rolleston is by far the largest settlement, home. There was a small supermarket and a pub, but not much else. The population has now grown to 56,000 and brought with it more shops, including 2 large supermarkets and an impressive new swimming pool complex. This year it got its own high school with a 200-strong roll that's expected to hit 1,100 within the next 4 years. Kim Gargett knows better than most just how much the place has changed.
Interesting. I lived here when I was a kid, and it's a lot different to what it is now.
What was it like when you were a kid?
Well, there was nothing here except for a dairy and a fire station.
This man moved from Christchurch 5 years ago and says it's the people who live here that make the difference.
People are friendly. You don't get too many people stopping you on the road and asking you things. except where's such and such a street? It's growing so fast you can't keep up with them all.
Juliana Wilcox moved here with her husband and 2 sons 6 years ago and says she prefers it to Christchurch.
More open, not congested. Kids absolutely love it, love their sports. Can't fault it.
But she says things have definitely changed since they arrived.
The growth has been enormous. Like, we used to live in a no exit street. They've opened it all up and we've got like 3 new subdivisions down the end of our street now. So one of our reasons why we wanted to live where we lived is because of the no exit street. But oh well, can't have everything now.
Another mother of 2 says Rolleston has become more self-sufficient in the 2 years she's been there.
It's quite good because you sort of feel like you don't have to go into town the same. Like when you first got here, probably good travel to town on the weekends, but now there's sort of lots happening out here that you don't really need to go into town the same.
There are a few more shops and things here. What's here, say, now compared to when you first moved out?
Obviously the warehouse is bigger. What's going to be bigger is, chemists, coffee culture, restaurants.
Loretta Adams says the booming population growth has its pros and cons.
There's a lot more shops coming here now because of the increase of the population, but sort of the crime rate's gone up a little bit too. But I guess that happens everywhere.
But while Rolleston is family friendly, the pace is a little too slow for some, including Jason Lambourne.
I've noticed this is quite a family orientated sort of area, so not a lot of young people or single people out these ways. So if you want to sort of go and have a few beers or whatever with some friends and catch up, often you've got to go into town to do that.
Ian Tucker visited Rolleston during the last Lions tour to New Zealand and never went back to the UK. His family came too and his children have grown up here. Ian says the new high school was long overdue.
Well, my wife works in one of the original school. When she started there was 300 people there and there's over 800 in that one alone. There's 4 other schools, a high school, there's another school getting built down there. But yeah, it needs to be that way because, it's good that the high school's here because Lincoln was just overflowing. My kids went to Lincoln School in the last couple of years and, and they said it was chocker then. So, only dread to think what it's like now. So, but that's a good thing. All the kids, most of the kids around here walk to school. So, that's ideal.
For this Rolleston resident, the only downside is the traffic.
I can get to work in 20 minutes if you leave at the right time. If you leave at the wrong time, it can take you about 45, 50 minutes. But once the motorway's done, you're laughing.
Prime Minister Norman Kirk in the 1970s dubbed Rolleston the town of the future, with the moniker becoming a standing joke for anybody driving past what remained a small collection of homes for years. Looking at the place now, Norman Kirk's premonition could not have been more spot on. In Rolleston for Checkpoint, ko Colin Young tēnei.